welcome to the closing beat, everybody. Happy. It is Tuesday. That is right. I have it on my screen. It tells me what day it is, so I know. Welcome to our show, the closing beat, the quick stock market update show that we hope goes well every day, and most of the time it doesn't. We're financial advisors. We do numbers and investments here, not tech, but we're getting better. Anyways, thanks for watching here. We'll go through a lot of cool stuff for you today, and I hope to maybe teach you something a little bit as well. I'll tell you what. If you look at the stock market today, kind of a reversal from yesterday, right? Everything started off kind of strong. The NASDAQ actually started off really strong, really nasty reversal there if you happen to be following along with the NASDAQ. That's something you want to pay attention to. We're going to talk about that one for sure. But basically, it was a day where everything just kind of faded throughout the day. There was some good standouts out there, and of course, I'll talk about it. And so far, this second week of July is performing exactly as we had discussed in our research site. If you've never been there, I'll just pop it up real quick. You check it out. What you'll want to do is go look at this video right here. I did a video post. It's new. We're just loading it up, so there's not a lot there yet. We're kind of building up the post there. I did another one here today, but you got a video post. This is the one you want to check out, where we were talking about how this week in July could perform. What you're seeing on there, if you can really look at it, is the average performance of the stock market on every single day of the year. So we broke down this time period. So far, it's behaving exactly as it's supposed to. So really cool when I get to share that kind of stuff with you. All right, let's talk about the stock markets here today. We'll get into it. You see a lot of red on your screen. You got the Dow down by 1.5%, S&P down 1%, NASDAQ giving back, although not as much. The NASDAQ did okay. So we'll go ahead and maybe I would start with the S&P. S&P reversing almost all of yesterday. Going to be choppy in here. Low volume. A little bit better than yesterday, but still low volume. It is typical low volume time of year. The S&P is above the 200-day moving average. Obviously had a great run. In our notes from Jazz over the weekend, we mentioned best 100 days since 1933. You just can't find it. So we actually plotted that all out, shared it with you, shared it with our customers as well as the research members. You guys get that as well. We take a look at the NASDAQ. This is impressive. This to me is a big reversal. At one point today when we hit new highs, we were up like 172, 176 points, something like that. Gave all 176 points back, right? That's a lot, nearly 2%, and then gave back an additional 70 points. That's a pretty big reversal. I think that stands out as something really obvious today that happened in terms of the NASDAQ. Now, still up 15.3% year to date, not really a big deal there. The issue is what's driving that rally. Very interesting what's driving that rally. It's the big companies out there, Microsoft, Amazon's, Apple's, etc. Those reversed course today. They were strong to start the day. They reversed course. And I kind of teased the idea that there were three names that were now over the $1.5 trillion market cap there. Take a look at this. Here is a list of the top 20 stocks by market cap. So I'll show you real quick. You got three names up top here worth $1.5 trillion or more. Maybe not Amazon after today, but you've got this going up at the top. Four names worth over $1 trillion. They are sorted by market cap. So if you take a look at the list, starts with Apple being the largest, even after today, I believe, still the largest in market cap, $1.6 trillion there. Work your way down the list. You find a few interesting things in here. I pointed out NVIDIA. NVIDIA is the best performing stock, even though it's 1/6 the size of the bigger companies out there. Not to take away anything from Amazon, but you can see NVIDIA is, even after today, is the best performing stock out of the top 20 in the S&P 500 there. Also noted that you got a couple financials in the mix there. JP Morgan, the more traditional financial services company, down 33%. If you compare that to the others like MasterCard and Visa, you can clearly see investors said, I'm willing to take a chance on financials, but I want to do it in fintech. I'm more interested in that sort of thing. Also, when you look at something like this, it could be a little overwhelming. So we got a little bit of call them fun facts if you want to take a look at that. You got Microsoft and Apple. The value of Microsoft and Apple added together as of yesterday is worth about half of what the Russell 2000 is. That's impressive, right? It's actually like 56%, something like that. Top four names, which Google just has two different classes of stock here, but the top four names that are over $1 trillion, their total market cap is bigger than all the other ones combined. In fact, all the other 22 combined. NVIDIA is the one that sticks out here as trying to overtake Intel as the largest semiconductor stock. If you follow that, we've been kind of focused on semis this week. So even after today, it gets it a little bit closer, not quite above Intel just yet. And one more off this list. If I were to go one more stock and give you 21 names, you would see PayPal is on there. I found it interesting that PayPal is bigger than Disney. PayPal's Venmo, by the way. They have Venmo. They have other products as well, of course. But you've got bigger than Disney, Coca-Cola, ExxonMobil. Isn't that interesting? You think of those companies as being massive companies. PayPal is bigger than that one there. So I don't know. Just found that kind of interesting to share with you. We always point out the virus too while we're here. We're going to take a look at this. You got the virus in the news there. Interesting thing going on. We track literally everything with the virus. I'll give you some extra stats today. Number of tests are down 9% week over week. So if I go over here, take this guy out, we'll show you the number of tests. You can see the drop, down 9% week over week. That's the largest drop since Memorial Day. If you go back and look at that one there, it's making the positive test rates look higher than they actually are. So you can expect to see the test counts and the number of new cases start to bounce through the rest of the week. That's just driven by this bit of data. That won't be driven by media, any hype, any pro-con, Democrat, Republican, whatever. That's pure data. So the rest of the week, you see new cases and test counts start to spike. It's gonna. That's just bottom line is what's going to happen. Also, slight uptick in the number of deaths per day. If I pop that up here for you, very small. If we go down to just the number of new deaths here, I mean, it's sad, but 242 across the United States there. So a slight uptick. This number is choppy. It is wavering a little bit. Tends to get higher towards the end of the week, by the way. Don't know why that is, but that tends to be the case. Some stats for you. 27 states. 27 states out of everybody out there have 5 or less deaths per day now. That's pretty good, right? If you're looking for positive stats there. The national average is now 1.46 deaths per million people per day. Getting better. That number was a lot higher. Arizona currently has the most number of cases per day. 528 new cases per million people in Arizona. And Florida comes in second. But for the first time, Florida doesn't come in first for something weird. Because we have a habit of doing that down here. Anyways, our FinTips videos this week. First one, best mutual funds for 2020 so far, performance year to date. Thought of a couple cool ways to expand on that. That was Monday's video. Tomorrow's video is going to be 4 ways to reduce capital gains tax if you're interested in doing that. And then Friday, we've got IRS changes to the required minimum distribution rules as of early this week that they didn't get Congress's approval to do. And Thursday, we'll be doing our class for customers. We're going to do a portfolio update. And of course, you guys know, I always put some geeky stuff in there for you as well. Let's go over to the sector breakdown real quick, talk about some of the things that are going on overall in the sectors. I'll just hop over here if I can. There we go. All's looking good. Communication services. There you go. Down just a little bit today. It was higher earlier in the day because of Facebook. So look at the performance today. Candlestick of communication services. Look at Facebook. Hand in hand, right? At one point today, Facebook accounted for more than half of the gains in the communication services stock, but because Facebook faded away, so did the communication services stock. It is not the day that it's going to break out to new highs. Tech was up earlier in the day, as I mentioned with the NASDAQ. Big reversal, very, very big reversal there. Microsoft and Apple were the big names that were leading the tech sector higher today. See the big reversal? Lots of topping tails going on out there. Apple's another one, although still very strong. I mean, I'm not discounting Apple at all, but reversal today, that's got to be noted there. What happens if these two stocks start to pull back? What do you think is going to happen to the NASDAQ, the tech sector, the S&P? It's going with it, right? That's the kind of weighting these guys have these days. Consumer staples, that was your standout sector of the day. There were 2 sectors higher on the day, materials as well, just barely. But consumer staples was a strong one, up about 1% on the day. That's going to be because of Walmart. Look at the move at Walmart. Up 7% here today. It was by far the biggest contributor in the consumer staples space. Walmart Plus coming out this month. Same day grocery store delivery, access to different deals and stuff. I don't know. They didn't make it sound too exciting, but nonetheless, it's a competitor of Amazon Prime. What do you think? Is there room for that? Walmart Plus, by the way, $98 is what it's coming out to be. I thought Costco looked interesting today, too. Up 1.5% on the day. Looking pretty good there. Clorox, there you go. We happen to own this one. Excited to see this one hit new highs as well. Up 1% on the day. Looking pretty good there. And Kroger, another retailer, did fade at the end of the day, but that one overall starting to wake up there is a little bit, is hinting at a new pop, right? It's trying to kind of hint at a new pop there. Financials, we've pointed this out. You can see this day by day when you're joining us. Financials just not participating in this rally. It was the second worst performing sector of the day, down 2%. All the big names were lower. Just a weak day for financials. Interestingly enough, not your fintech. So JP Morgan lower on the day, Bank of America almost 3% lower on the day. Citigroup did hit 3% lower on the day, and American Express broke the 50-day moving average down about 4%. There is no interest in this sector right now. People are, it's not that they're selling, they're moving money into the stronger areas. They see that these areas are pulling back. I'll take some money out of financials. They go put it over in big tech and everything. That's what's going on there. Little rotation. Industrials down 2% on the day. That's going to be because of Boeing. You look at Boeing, that had a pretty nasty day. Down 5% on the day. Pulling back. We're awaiting the results of the FAA flight tests there. I didn't see anything today. No, it's going to be another couple weeks or so. Looking around at commodities, you got gold, $16 higher, hitting new highs up to $18.09 on the day, looking pretty good. Crude oil, rather low volume type day, very flat, tight in here. Everybody's waiting for the next direction. Where's oil going to go? Still about $40, $40.60 is where it closed out today. And yeah, we'll leave it at that for the sector breakdown. Let's go over to, we'll look at the technical breakdown here. Go over some things. You got 32 new highs today. 9 sectors were represented in the number of new highs today. That's actually kind of rare. That doesn't happen. Usually 7 is the magic number, especially through this most recent rally off the March 23rd lows. We got 9 sectors reported, a little broadening out there. Some of the, what that tells you, by the way, is some of the leaders in those individual sectors starting to stick out. May want to take a look at that. Only 10 stocks closed below their open, despite that sell-off into the end of the day, so that looks pretty good. Air Products, strong. That was the best performer. 6.5% to new 52-week highs there as well. They got a renewable energy plant deal coming out there. Is a lot of money. $5 billion? $5 billion, yeah. So that one looked really good on the day. You had Vertex, a lot of news in the biotech space today. I don't follow it as much. Invax, which we just talked about yesterday, they got a deal from the there we go. They got the deal for $1.6 billion, I believe, and to start producing their vaccine. And wow, 30% gain on the day. Looking good there. So names that were in the mix like Regeneron, they just helped out, participated on that as well. Kind of seen as the leaders in that COVID space there. JB Hunt, very interesting breakout here. It's a transport company, so there's a little more volatility to be expected. 2.6% gain today on slightly above average volume. You got a new breakout there, maybe a technical pattern to keep an eye on. Another one would be American Tower. This is a REIT, by the way. It was hinting at a breakout, technically hit new 52-week highs. However, the sector was down on the day. Real weakness there, and continued to see a little pullback weakness as the REITs pulled back just over 1.5%. No new 52-week lows on the day, so nothing to talk about there. Some of the technical patterns, we talked about these yesterday, looking strong. Dexcom was relatively strong compared to the markets today being lower. Dexcom was higher. Market access breaking out today, very strong, looking good there. That was the breakout we mentioned yesterday, so that continues. Chipotle broke out, took a little bit of a break today. Maybe got ahead of itself yesterday, down just a little bit, not erasing yesterday's gains. So stronger yesterday, markets of course as well. Then the markets reverse almost all their gains. Chipotle reverses a very tiny little bit of their gains. That will stand out for sure. KLA 10 Core, well, it's called KLA Corporation now, sorry. Starting to move higher out of that little sloppy breakout there. Took the day off, a little bit stronger than the rest of the market today. That's a good sign as well. Remember, semis had just a great run, right? They've had a really good run. Counter trend, this is going to be tough, but counter trend, you've got eBay, 1.5%, looking a little extended in the short term. How about your Tesla? What'd you guys Tesla there? A little bit of a pullback from highs, although still positive on the day. Know that that's getting extended. I know I got a lot of emails from people that thought 1,400 was the magic number they wanted to sell. Orders got filled today. If you took your profits, awesome. Yeah, good for you. You don't have to pick the top. You just have to recognize you went from 1,000 to 1,400 bucks. That's an impressive run. And yes, we did see the comment there on NEO. I'm not saying it's a bad company. I'm just not into it. If you own this stock, and then I'll take your questions. If you own this stock, I would encourage you, just share with me where you're going to get out, right? Did you get out already? If you're participating in this, I'd like to know what you're thinking about doing, because you have to be taking some kind of action. Just bottom line, you have to. If you're playing with a stock that bounces that much, do something about it, right? You got to do something about it. Oh, we didn't share our sector breakdown. Well, I'm sorry. I didn't put up that screen today. Some of the stocks in the news today, and then I'll take your questions. That's what we'll do. United Airlines down. They've warned about some new layoffs, not looking good there, down 7.5%. It was already down when that news came out. Maybe somebody knew, or people just were selling off this area here, but it was already down before that. Didn't get much better after that. Carnival Cruise lower by the devil's numbers, 6.66% there. They canceled their late year cruises, just moved them out to 2021. A little bit of struggle there, continuing. Apple gets a price target upgrade to $400. Here's one, and then we'll take your questions. Nikola, down. It's been down a lot lately, but down 17.75% today. Back to the 50-day moving average, which won't really matter a whole lot given how new it is. There was an analyst at RBC that had a whole bunch of stuff to say. The headline quote was, "This stock is more of a business plan and less of a business." Yikes. I'm always fascinated by the way analysts are very clever at how they say very nasty or very positive things without getting in trouble there. All right, I'll take your questions, see if we if there's anything you want me to answer there. Earnings tomorrow, Bed Bath & Beyond coming out after hours. This is late earnings season. New earnings season starts next week. MasterCard paying out 40 cents in dividends there. So we'll see what you got. Let's take some questions here. Henry's looking for another crash, huh? I don't know. I don't predict crashes, man. I can't do it. I don't do that. Yeah, the Saudis did buy some Carnival. They're hoping it stays alive, right? NVIDIA, I can't disagree with you. NVIDIA is obviously a very strong stock. It is one of the fastest growing stocks in the top 20 there. I don't think I mentioned that, but that's pretty good there. So I can't blame you for that one. He's got it up on the screen. Look at that. We're trying out a new thing today where we can post your comments on the screen so everybody can see if you happen to be watching the replay or something like that. So we'll just test it out while I'm answering questions, see what happens. I like it. There you go. Any advice on when to start a position in... so I don't do IPOs, right? It's a thing of mine. Lemonade, recent IPO here, very recent actually. I don't do IPOs until 200 days after they've gone out. We've done a lot of studies on this, how IPOs perform. It's actually, there's one in the dojo for our customers, how they perform within the first 200 days and after the first 200 days to kind of show that. It's essentially a crapshoot in the first 200 days. You can catch momentum and you can trade it and everything, but very difficult one. So because of that, we don't play with those. Just so you know. Yep. I love it. I can't say things like that. You've got LHX and RTX seem to be flaming out, unfortunately. RTX was in the news today. Didn't help them at all. Down 3.5% today. Your defense stock's a little bit lower. They got the $6 billion contract for the logistics system. I wanted to look that up. I love looking at these things. I didn't get a chance to do that, but they were the ones that did win that contract, if that helps you out there. But yeah, fading away. Relatively weak, too. They're just not participating in general with the overall stock market. People are going and you can see it. People are going and taking risk. They are not interested in the defensive type areas right now. Not as much. Yep. You're looking at limited brands. Let's take a look at limited brands and see what's going on there. You're looking for $20 a share. So retailer, obviously, is a difficult space for them. Limited brands, here you can see it here, fading a little bit with retailers. Compare it to other retailers, brick and mortar type retailers, not doing as well. So it's relatively weak compared to the others. And so because of that, you would expect that if money moves into retail, it's not going to come to limited brands first. They're going to go with the strong stuff first. Even, I hate to say it, but even like a Macy's, because they're starting to pick up a little steam. And so you would think that this stock wouldn't just bounce like crazy and take off. So that's a tough one. I mean, it could be a dead stock for a while. Not dead down, but just sideways. Yep. I love it. Mm-hmm. Love the screen grab thing there. Yeah, man. Thank you. We're working. We're working to improve this thing here. How long can the Fed keep printing at this rate without serious negative consequences? They don't mind. They don't mind at all. Their goal is actually to to produce inflation. That is their goal. Anytime there is inflation, you have a period of deflation first. That is yet to be seen. But they're looking for inflation, and they're just not getting it. So they don't mind at the moment printing like crazy because they're trying to get inflation higher. We have a little room to spare, as they would say. So we'll see. Yep. Peloton. Let's take a look at Peloton there. You say a Peloton stock proves that traditional values shouldn't be underestimated. Well, it also proves that you don't have to be a profitable company to have a very successful stock, right? That's a tough one. Now, I agree with a lot with what Peloton's doing. I like the idea. I like the company. I think you'll see some acquisitions with them, with some of the other different types of competitors coming out. I think they did one recently. I think they'll keep doing that while they can. When money's loose like this, you have room for Uber to go just use a bunch of stock and buy Postmates and things like that. So, yeah, no, it's interesting. It'll be a fascinating study one day. Yep. Oh, yeah. I know. Yep. Oh, there's some inflation guesses there. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. How about ConAgra's recent pop? So ConAgra, the recent breakout, I think you're talking about. Quick reversal, by the way. If I could go over to the chart and show you. That was an exciting one. Put that on a watch list. And then as it fell, seemed like it was going to be one that got left in the dust and didn't break out, but immediately reversed and broke out there. Yeah, looking good. Not only that, check out today. I mean, that's got to stand out as well as relative strength. Yep. It does. Yeah, I'm getting an error down here from YouTube. But all good. Hey, we got a chance to answer your questions, try some new stuff there. I will wrap it up. We'll call it a day. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me if you still hear me. And that's really all I got for you. So enjoy. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you soon. Yeah.
Why should you choose Jazz Wealth as your retirement or long-term investing service? Our portfolios are managed by us, not some faceless mutual fund manager. Our private classes will teach you everything about investing and getting your dough straight. Best of all, our fiduciary standard means your best interest comes before ours.